What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today we're gonna do a video off of another question. I'm starting to look at some of the comments, and if I find something that maybe is interesting or I feel like nobody's talked about it, I will do a video on it. Okay. So this one is from KXM Rock. The question is, how can prisoners assign cellie arrangements? Doesn't the prison assign you to your cell? Or do they just bring a new guy in and your block or tier houses him? How does that work? Thanks. So, in the California Department of Corrections, it's the program office that houses you, assigns you your housing. The program office is basically like the police department on the yard. It's where the captain's at, the lieutenant's in there, the sergeant's in there, and it's its own little spot on the yard, right? Now, what a lot of people don't know, unless they change the rules of the California Department of Corrections, there are rules to housing, right? They are not supposed to sell up a 70-year-old with an 18-year-old. They're not supposed to sell up a 300-pounder with a 120-pounder. Both for obvious reasons, right? A 70-year-old and an 18-year-old have nothing in common. There could be an incident, and a 70-year-old may not be able to defend himself, especially if he doesn't see it coming, right? Same thing when you have a 300-pounder and a 120-pounder. Now, saying all that, the CDC doesn't care. It's just in the rule book. They will house you with whoever they want, as long as you guys have the same housing criteria, right? You guys run with the same faction. There's a cell open. You're going in there. Now I can tell you, like in Pelican Bay, on A and B yards, the main lines, back in the days, if they were gonna put somebody in your cell, say your cellie transferred or went to the hole, whatever, you're gonna get a cellie. Now, normally what we'll try to do is holler at somebody that we're cool with, or somebody that's by themselves. That maybe two dudes in the same section, their cellies did a hit together. You may want to sell up with them, you may not. But we usually your cell is your sanctuary, right? You don't want to get an idiot in there. You don't want to get somebody that doesn't know how to do time, right? But before you can get that bed move in, they may throw somebody in your cell. But as I was saying, in Pelican Bay, they pull you out. And they call you down to the program office, or at least in that area, right? You meet the dude. Aeons, they're gonna be throwing me in the cell. Is that cool? This and this and that. Whoa. And you have to sign a chrono. They call it the marriage chrono. The reason why is because there were so many homicides, in-cell homicides happening. It pretty much like hit its worst, like at the end period of a lot of that happening in 1997, right? But because of all the things that were happening, all the things that had happened, you had to sign that you were compatible with who you were moving in with. That way the CDC can try to erase liability, responsibility for who they throw in your cell. If there's guys not getting along, at least for raza, you're not supposed to put your hands on your cellie. Does it happen? Occasionally, dudes will agree to get down with each other in the cell and then leave it there. But, it's extremely rare to see that, to hear about that, because somebody else can hear that. And you guys, if you're lucky, they're going to ask you to go do something, right? But it's very hard to be on a yard with somebody. Let's say you fight somebody and you lose. Can you really be on that yard with that dude? Knowing there's other dudes on the yard whispering like, "Hey, fool, that motherfucker got his ass whooped." You know what I mean? Can you take the L and not want to take it to another place. So for the raza, if people are not compatible, they usually get at the bloquero. Like, hey, Holmes, the vato's cool, but we just, the way we live in the cell is different. So if somebody can, I haven't been able to find another, somebody compatible. If we can find, that's what'll happen, and they'll do that. Now, if there's an individual that every damn Sally he gets, there's a problem. They're incompatible. And there's a common denominator. It's the same dude. It's a bunch of different people, 3 or 4 Sallys already. And this dude can't get along with no Sally. Yeah, he's going to have to get a knife in his hand and go ahead and handle some business. Go back to the shoe, sit down for a little while, and figure out how to do time. As I said in the beginning, your cell is your sanctuary. When I would go in my cell, I'll clown on the yard and all that. But when I go to the cell, I'm quiet. The cell shouldn't be, when you're a youngster, youngsters are excited. They go out to the yard and see something happen, they're excited. Then that excitement, hey, Holmes, did you see they did this and that? Then it turns into, man, I remember one time in the neighborhood, Holmes, when this, and that can go on for 3 or 4 hours. And that's so cool when that's okay and all cool when you're, 18, 19, and your Sally's 18 or 19, you guys want to tell the war stories. But once you figured out how to do time, you don't want to hear that. You don't even want to hear your Sally talk for more than an hour. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, hey, Holmes, there's a good movie on it. Let's watch it. Hey, there's some sports on it. Let's watch that. Because living in a very confined space with a man that has a tendency to violence, and you both do, the more you talk, the more you can become annoying. And it's not out of fear. Nobody should be afraid of anybody, right? But it's the right thing to do as far as be courteous, be respectful. Don't talk all day. Don't hang out on the cell door talking out the door. Nobody wants to hear you. Wait, that's your homie. Go talk to him when you guys are on the yard, eh? Go try to sit with them at chow and have a whole conversation with them at chow. But don't be on the door. There's another thing, and this is kind of like we're getting in the weeds, but there's some people that in the cell when they use the bathroom or they bird bath, they like to put up a curtain, right? And I personally, I was never one of those people, right? And it was because I saw early in my prison term, I saw 2 incidents where dudes lost their mind, but their Sallys didn't know until they were like, hey, man, I'm gonna use the bathroom, or I'm a bird bath, and they put the curtain up, they pull their knife out, come through that curtain, and they start whacking their Sallys. The dude never did nothing wrong, but their Sally went and lost their mind, and something happened in their mind that their Sally was responsible for. So me, if I moved in with somebody and they like that curtain shit, I used to tell them, hey, Holmes, don't even trip. I'm moving into your pad, but I'm gonna go ahead and get another cell, Holmes, because I don't play that shit. Every time I said that, they were like, oh, nah, it's all good, Holmes, don't even trip. But I would explain why. Like, that's a security threat. Putting up a curtain, you don't know. Somebody could slam a bad batch, lose it. I've seen that happen. There was a guy, his cellie was his homie, his friend. And he did some bad stuff, man. And it hit his brain wrong. And he took his cellie out. And from what we heard, once he sobered up and realized what he did, the dude went insane. Couldn't believe what he had done to his buddy. So, housing assignments in prison and the CDC are very, very dangerous. But hey, prison's dangerous as it is, right? So hopefully that answered your question. The program office assigns people, but you can put in for a cell move. Usually they're granted because they don't want anything happening in the cell. Now, there's been occasions where that has been utilized to take people out. Throughout the history of the CDC, that's been done. And that's what I'm saying. In the shoe, that was happening. Guys were selling up with guys and playing the role, and next thing you know, they're dragging a dead body out. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.